I don't think Pulsechain can be gatekept because every Ethereum founder will know about it. There's a lot of big YouTube influencers that sacrificed, and there's a lot of articles out now talking about Pulsechain. So
plus Rackham's got his ranking site that he's putting together, right? So I mean, they're not going to be able to control any gatekeeping anymore.
And Richard also has, a reputation now. Like in the beginning, people were still skeptical, but now Richard has established himself, and he's on Fox News Business.
Yep, he's on Kitco. He was just on again. Guy wants him to come on every month now.
Yeah, the cat is pretty much had a cat's
and
out
that was a great interview. That was an outstanding interview.
I said the same thing to Daniel this morning. I was just like, man, that was like, it was a big move. It was huge, right?
And for everyone listening, I mean, if you have any doubts, just look at all the other layer ones that launched. They were basically ghost shells. They were ghost chains. And, they did, 650 something X in the first 1.4 years. I'm not even talking about the DEX, just the layer ones. I mean, this has already got 100 projects on it. It's got, hundreds of thousands of users. At the end of the day, this is going to, I think, vastly outperform what anyone's thinking. I think people are waiting for some pullback. That's never going to happen. And if you don't realize that when it does launch, that time is the issue. And like when I say time, I mean like get in as soon as you can. Don't worry about any pullback. Just get in. It's all about time. That's what it's going to be. And if you're in early, if you didn't sacrifice, it's okay. You just want to get in as soon as you possibly can. And then if there's another opportunity, who knows where it is or when it is, good luck with that. But I mean, just
You're
compound
right.
your staking and just keep going. This is not going to be a moment that if you're going to wait for some pullback close to a sack number, good luck with that. Like that, there's such an odd chance of that happening. I would be in shock. The VC market isn't invested yet. No one's invested yet. They weren't allowed to because it was a sacrifice. I'm telling you, I just think that it's going to be an absolute shock what happens. Phantom did a 2,500x in like 20 months. And it was nothing.
There's literally a shit ton of people waiting to pack their bag on Pulsechain.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the marketing brilliance with the system state copy with Pulsechain. It's crazy. So let me just paint a scenario. Like I declared earlier, like I do NFTs. Do you know every BAYC guy, MAYC guy would know that they have a copy of their NFTs on the Pulsechain? And they're going to talk about it. And that's going to happen to almost every single protocol on Ethereum right now. The communities would have to say, hey guys, do you know you have your coins copied somewhere called Pulsechain and you can go claim it? It is huge. So really the marketing genius of Richard Hart to say, yeah, I'm not just going to create another ghost chain, but I'm going to create a ghost chain with a system state copy of everything on Ethereum into that chain. And it's not going to, so it's just going to be crazy because the whole cryptocurrency world will have to talk about Pulsechain. They will be forced to talk about Pulsechain when it launches because they have their coins on it. They have it waiting for them to claim. All they need to do is just click and get onto Pulsechain, and it's right there. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. It's mind-blowing that it's going to happen, right? I'm not trying to push too much hopium out there, but I do know the mindset of investors. If you have something that you think is rightfully yours in another chain for you to claim, whether it's an NFT or whether it's a token that has been on Ethereum, you would go there and you would investigate. And all of a sudden you find out that, oh, you know what? It's deflationary. Oh, it's fee burning as well. It's just going to be crazy. So hold on to your bags, guys. Like, just hold on to your bags. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, if you didn't hear, I mean, Richard actually said, I think it was, who did he say? I think, did he say it to Kitco or he said to somebody, he said this has been designed, Pulsex has been designed to do 10,000x in 2 years. So like, what else are you going to do? Just stake and harvest and swap daily into more Pulsex and compound your Pulsex. That's your move. That's everyone's move. I mean, Pulsechain itself in the longer term will be a bigger market cap because it's a layer one, but the buy pressure that's going to be there daily on Pulsex and everything that's going on in the tokenomics of Pulsex, it's just built for it.
Yeah, another thing is the genius of the incentive token and the third-party tokens. Just protects Pulsechain and Pulsex as well. Demand is going to be there. Like, people are going to hear about it. I mean, it's crazy. It's a no-brainer.
I think people are going to be very surprised at how little Pulsex will be available.
Do you think that we're going to burn 1 billion Pulsex as fast as the testnet?
It's strongly possible, man. I mean,
it'd be more. There's going to be more volume, more people using it, definitely.
yeah.
I think it's going to be faster.
I think people with the test net didn't take it serious. I mean, people mess with it, whatever, but like I f- with it. I staked. I did that original stake for those 10 million, Pulsex, and I did that, and that was it. And that's all I ever really did. I never did anything else. When it ran to 8 cents, I didn't sell any. I just let it sit. I didn't f- with it, right? So I think whatever everyone's going now is probably a small fraction of reality.
Yes. So when people start to claim their coins on Pulsechain, the free coins that will come, it's going to, put some pressure on the protocol as well. So there'll be transactional pressure. And so there will be, continuous burning as it goes on. So yes, it's going to be huge. So there will be huge transactional pressure, and everyone's going to see that number go up. And it's deflationary. No other coin is going to be minted into the future. So it's just going to be crazy. So I think, yes, there will be a lot of burning happening.
Every time an Ethereum user dumps or swaps their free PRC20, that there's going to be a 25% burn on the Pulsechain protocol. So yeah, and there's a lot of Ethereum users.
I'm telling you, I think we're going to all be surprised at how little people are selling, because it's like time travel. We can go back now and be in mainnet on Ethereum and get this kind of performance. We can go back and be in mainnet in original Hex and get this potential 10,000x performance. We can go back and be in mainnet and whichever one of these other layer ones and get this tremendous performance again. And I think people are going to take advantage of it. Just because they're getting free PRC20 doesn't mean it's going to be sold. Take it and keep it and hold it, because you realize it's going to do 10,000x in the next 2 years. Why would you sell it? What's the opportunity cost? What's better?
The only people that are going to sell are the 20,000 people that put in under $1,000 on the sacrifice and they need their money. But those people, compared to the demand, is absolutely nothing. There's probably
it'll be eaten up in the first hour.
There's probably going to be a retracement at some point, but not back to sacrifice levels. No
I wouldn't
way.
be surprised if we run like a 500x before we get like a 30-40% pullback or something like that. So we could be up, from our sacrifice number, we get our 9.91 bonus, right? And then we're just going to be up some big freaking X number before we do any kind of pullback.
I think that midterm 2.5 years from now, Pulsechain outperforms Ethereum in terms of X. That's my personal.
1,000%, man.
So
absolutely. The next 2 years, Pulsechain and Pulsex.
At the end of the sacrifice phase to when it launches is probably a 10x. Like if it's probably a 10x. And I've seen protocols that in the first 2-3 days from the launch price make 30-40x easily, and they don't even have half the publicity that we have as a community and as Pulsechain.
I think it's definitely underestimated that if we're launching during this bear market and the power of what that's going to be like, I think it's very much underestimated. It's going to be proper hockey stick. Because we're gonna get a fourth quarter, end of the year, January move in the general markets. If they stop raising interest rates and we see a pivot from the Fed, the whole market's gonna take off and it's gonna fucking explode. And crypto is gonna just outperform everything. And we know, Pulsechain, Pulsex, Hex is just gonna outperform all other crypto.
You can talk about in Hex, and the biggest one is that it's an immutable code, and then there is this charismatic leader that we have, and then there are weaknesses out as well, which also becomes the opportunities for the protocol. So the weakness, for instance, we talk about gatekeeping as a weakness, but you could say, hey, that's also Privara, right? And that's the opportunity we have. I was listening to Rackham. I don't know if everyone is his friend, but I'll just talk a bit about a line I picked up from him. When you look at Pulsechain, Pulsex, when they come in, there'll probably be some gatekeeping, but therein is also the opportunity that when that protocol hits big and you're doing the 10x, 20x, if you really think about the way the traditional crypto system look at assets at the moment, they use the market cap. If you look at the kind of market cap that we probably will be hitting in Pulsechain and Pulsex, if we are not gate cap, it's going to be huge. Like there's something new coming in and shooting in as one, two, and if you put in Hex as being Hex in Ethereum and Hex in Pulsechain, Hex's market cap is going to go up as well. Now we don't care about market cap. We know it's a vanity measure, but everybody else that we're trying to onboard into the system care about them. So it's a good thing to use that as a sort of
You think
intro when you're
really
onboarding
think
guys.
you really think that a lot of people care about market cap, even though it's bullshit?
Yeah. In Binance, yeah. In everywhere else, yes. It's market cap. Is like I've been in that system. So you launch a coin, they're asking you when CoinGecko, when CMC, when this, when that. It's all about market cap because immediately you get into those platforms, you get ranked, and then you start being spotlighted by the platforms. Like they put you on the first page and they tell you, hey, 3 top coins to watch out for and stuff like that. It's a lot of free advert, frankly speaking. And immediately you start getting listed on CNC and all that, you just see a massive flood of people coming in to invest into the protocol. So we are being gatekept, and there's a reason why you would say, why are you being unfair, to Hex? Why would you? I hope they are not unfair to Postchain. I don't think they will be, because it's going to be powerful. If what I've seen, I've played with the test, and if what I've heard, if what is being developed is what it's going to be, and we don't have any bugs, that's why I'm very patient. I'm waiting for Richard to make it as tight as he can. Then we are going to be really, really good. The opportunity that we have with Postchain, like I do NFTs. I'm sorry to guys that don't do NFT, but sometimes when I look at those gas fees, and I have been in Ethereum for a long while. I actually started cryptocurrency by looking at the Ethereum protocol. So I've worked in a major oil and gas company for a long time. And while I was there, I was part of an official group who was called, we're called officially within the system, we're called a cryptocurrency enthusiast group. And we were given the tools to really study what were the enterprise solutions out there. And my company then, Shell, was part of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. And when I got into the website and I saw that all the big companies in the world, like Deloitte, Shell, ExxonMobil, just name it, they are part of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. So what we don't know is even Ethereum is also pre-viral. Now, with what Vitalik is doing, trying to move it up off the proof of work into the proof of stake, it's going to help Ethereum become, hey, we can now start talking about, that we are adhering to ESG measures, which is a big thing in the world right now. It almost means an open door to government, to institutional investors. But this is what's going to happen. If the merge happens in Ethereum and there is a move into the proof of stake, Richard is right on the money in terms of congestion. So these are the big companies that can't hitherto say anything about Ethereum at the moment because of their ESG commitment will start getting into Ethereum. And there is the sister to Ethereum, which is going to be Postchain, which is going to be better in terms of gas, in terms of the deflationary aspect of it and all that kind of stuff, right there for these companies to get into. So from my point of view, and because I've been in the corporate world, I do think sometimes when I do sort of lean towards the angle of saying, hey, yeah, we do probably need some sort of corporateness about Postchain and Pulsex in the way that we advertise going forward. But that's because I see the opportunity there that these big companies that are waiting to have a proof of stake, and it's not like they care about the proof of work or proof of stake, they just care that they are able to say they are meeting their ESG commitment. Elon Musk did not do a lot of good to the cryptocurrency world when he went out there and started talking about how thoughtful it is to climate. Yeah, let me finish, Parkway, please. Can I? Please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please let me finish. I'm going somewhere with this. He didn't do a lot of good when he started talking about, the climate effect of Bitcoin. That really turned a lot of big boys out. I'm talking about venture capitalists that would have come in and built a lot of stuff on and not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general. Where we are now, may I say, I'll just disclose that I'm a top official in government here in Australia, right? Where we are now is that when we look at stuff, it's really about climate change. That is the narrative. Now, whether people want to listen to that or not, it is the lens by which almost everything is looked at. And Postchain is coming to solve that for a lot of people. So there is this bit where sometimes I think, are we really prepared enough to push this protocol when these guys that probably we want to see come in, start asking, what are we going to do? Like, how do we answer them? Like, how do we put on that corporate look and make them know government's coming in? How do we make them know about the merits and demerits of other protocol versus Postchain? So I see all that, and we are like really, really early in terms of where we are now because, yeah, you have a piece of the pie and you are early, you're like getting it at zero. And when it goes viral, it's going to be huge. So, yeah, the threat is that, yeah, there's a bit of gatekeeping. And I don't see that as a problem because at the end of the day, we are going to be going into huge market caps that are like trillions and trillions of dollars. We as Hexicans or Poxicans don't care about that. We know there are vanity measures, but frankly speaking, we are still part of the entire world, and the way people judge stuff is still a certain way. No matter how we preach, they will still look at it that way for a while until that mentality gets ingrained and people start to see that oh yeah, that's true. Because it happened to me as well. Like, yeah, I used to look at market cap and I used to like if I get a new product, I'm checking the price versus market cap. I'm like, okay, what's the quantity of this token? What price is this? Okay, what's the price of a similar market similar supply for another token? And then I start to do some math. I'm like, oh, okay, there's an upside to this, or or I think this is too expensive, compared to this other protocol. So yeah, I used to look at stuff that way until I got really, really, really deep into Hex, and I've been listening to Richard for close to 2 years now, and I hear everything. That is a brilliant individual that should be listened to. Like, people should really, really listen to